Hello everybody. In this episode I will be discussing blood sugar and diabetes. Now, diabetes is a pretty common illness, especially in recent years, and it's important to know basically how it works and also how blood sugar works in normal people as well. Now, when you eat something like a hamburger, it goes into your stomach and it's broken down into nutrients that your body can use. Now, one of the main ones is glucose. This is the main energy source for your body. Now, after the glucose is extracted from the food, it goes into the bloodstream and your blood sugar levels rise. Before we go any further, there are two main proteins we need to talk about. There's insulin, which lowers blood sugar levels, and there's glucagon, which raises blood sugar levels. Now, we're going to be talking mostly about insulin since it's most relevant to diabetes, but it's good to know both just so you know how blood sugar is regulated within the body. When you eat something, your body releases insulin, so the sugar that enters the bloodstream can be regulated, while glucagon is released when you haven't eaten anything in a while, so that stored sugar is released so your body can use it for energy. Like I said before, glucose can't do anything by itself. It needs something to help it get into the cells, because the cell's membranes are very selective about what gets across, and they won't just let glucose across by itself. They won't recognize it. So what insulin does, it's basically kind of like a shuttle. It takes the glucose and it allows it to cross the cell membrane so that the cell can use it for energy. Now this is where diabetes comes in. So in your pancreas, you have these cells called beta cells. And what they do is they make the insulin that your body needs when your blood sugar rises. But for people with type 1 diabetes, basically the white blood cells, which normally attack infection, will actually attack the beta cells that make insulin and kill them. This is called an autoimmune response. This is when the white blood cells attack the body instead of foreign invaders. Type 2 diabetes is a little bit different. Basically what happens is when you have a poor diet and you eat way too much sugar and fat, your body can either stop making enough insulin or the cells become resistant to insulin. This basically means that if you have the insulin, your body can't use it effectively, or it just doesn't make enough. This is also called adult onset diabetes because, as opposed to type 1, which often occurs during childhood, this occurs in adulthood, although it can happen in kids, and it's a result of poor diet rather than genetics. So how do you know if you have diabetes? Well, you have to be diagnosed by a doctor. So they'll do some tests, they'll check your blood sugar, see if you're making enough insulin or not. So if you have any of these symptoms, it might be a good idea to go get checked out. Nausea and vomiting are pretty common just because all that excess sugar can cause your stomach and intestines to not move properly. You get really thirsty because your kidneys have to get rid of a lot more fluid to flush all that excess sugar out of your blood. And you get really hungry too and also tired. This is because even though there's a lot of sugar in your blood, your body can't use it. So your body thinks it's starving, which it is because the sugar can't get into your cells. You're also going to start losing weight as your body can't use the sugar for energy, so it has to use its fat storage. So even though you're eating a lot more than usual, you're still going to lose a lot of weight because your body can't use the immediate supply of sugar. Numbness is also common because diabetes can damage the nerves and brain, so it can feel like there's not a whole lot of feeling. It can also cause pain in your nerves too. A lot of people with diabetes have pain in their arms and legs. And like I said before, since your kidneys have to get rid of a lot more sugar and fluid, you're going to start peeing a whole lot. And this can be bad because you can get seriously dehydrated from all the fluid that you're losing. So what do people with diabetes do to get their insulin? Well, we used to get it from pigs, but nowadays people with type 1 diabetes usually get injections of insulin. Unfortunately, type 2 diabetes cannot yet be cured completely. It has to be something that people maintain throughout their lives. However, people with type 2 diabetes can often be treated and even cured sometimes. It's usually treated by exercise and diet, although a lot of times they do need to take pills to help with insulin. But that's the main difference between type 1 and type 2, is that type 1 cannot be cured, but type 2 can. Before I go, just a quick disclaimer. I am not a doctor. I'm currently studying to be a nurse, but I am not qualified to make medical decisions. So if you have any questions or you think you might be at risk, definitely go talk with your doctor because diabetes can be very dangerous if left untreated. Also, for any doctors that are watching, if I said something wrong, if I made a mistake in the video, please leave a comment. that corrects me, because I am not perfect and I don't know everything about diabetes. This is just the basics that I have learned in my classes so far. Again, thank you so much for watching my new video. If you have any suggestions on how I could improve my series or on what subject I should do next, I would welcome any constructive criticism. Definitely leave that down in the comments. Also, subscribe to PewDiePie because the sub gap is getting lower, so we have to stop T-Series. So thank you all, and I'll see you next time.